Hey, this episode is brought to you by our friends over at TrueClassicTees.com. TrueClassicTees.com, using the promo code OTS Golf, you can get 25% off plus free shipping. Shop the outerwear collection for fall golf, pullovers and zip-ups. Great for wherever you're playing right now. TrueClassicTees.com, 25% off plus free shipping using the promo code OTS Golf. Enjoy the episode.
3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, hit Drew, shooter, McGavin.
All right, episode number 104 on the Screws Podcast. A little bit of a hockey pod this week. So if you're just a dedicated golfer and you do not like hockey for whatever reason, just leave this running. Trick the algorithms for us and let Spotify and all those databases know that we're a little bit better than maybe we are. But we're welcoming to the pod Tyson Teichmann. Tyson Teichmann Goalie Academy. We got connected a few weeks ago when we had Stewie on, Dan Stewart. So we were just talking a little bit. Tyson plays a little bit of golf, and Bryce likes to always do a hockey pod, as do I. So we thought it was a match made in heaven. So Tyson, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We got Brycer here. He's here. Sorry, Bryce, you're always the second one to be introduced.
No, that's all right. I'm the least important. I get it. It's fine.
So, yeah, we figured, it's always kind of nice to do a hockey season or a hockey pod. We're kind of kicking off the hockey season right now. Do you watch much, Tyson? Or are you more just like a player, teacher now?
I do a lot more teaching than I do watching, but I try to watch the NHL games when I can. I normally can't make it to the late games anymore. I normally dead asleep by then, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I do try to catch 7:00, 9:00 games when I'm not on the ice myself. Yeah, so those guys are the best. That's normally when I can still keep learning new things.
I feel like I drafted a little bit for fantasy, a little bit more time zone specific this year, because like typically I'll like have like a big Western team or something like that. So I get up at 5. Brycer gets up pretty early for work too, and
Yeah.
I just don't want to stay up and watch those. So it's no fun. But some of those Ottawa guys put up some good fantasy numbers, so we're there. But maybe just kick us off. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I know I was saying that Bryce has played in Wellington. You played a bit in Wellington. You both played in the OHL. Family member of mine worked for the team that you played a bit for, so there is a triangle of, I don't know, hockey. We all love hockey, but maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can jump in.
Yeah, man. Hockey world's a small world. Everyone seems to know one another through somebody. It's kind of what makes it the best. But yeah, I mean, nothing too interesting. I'm 29. Like I said, like you guys said, played for 5 years in the OHL, did 4 years in the CIS or U Sports, I guess they call it now. Was very lucky to have that time and enjoyed it. But now I'm a goalie coach full time in the Belleville area, and I'm actually down in the Oshawa area sometimes as well too, working with a kid there. But got a dog, a couple cats. I like to golf, like you said, whenever I get the day off, and big F1 guy, so like gonna be excited to watch the race today. And not a whole lot, man. That's about it with me. Nothing too interesting.
Bryce, are you an F1 guy?
No,
We've never
could care
talked about
less.
Could care less. I know F1 got huge, right? Like when it came out on Netflix, I watched it. It was pretty cool. It's usually on pretty early though on Sundays, isn't it?
Yeah. Normally they're in Texas this weekend though, so nice 5:00 start, I believe. 4:00.
Yeah, because I always have like a money game going on early Sunday morning. I always seem to miss it, but it's like, man, like those guys are crazy talented. Like they're so like to be able to, I don't know. I guess I think of like watching back Braden Holtby videos and stuff like that, like the hand-eye coordination, and just like standing in front of a wall, like throwing a ball off it, catching it, all that like kind of weird stuff. And like I've seen like some of the Formula One drivers do that too, and like just like their reaction speed or like reaction timing must be just insane. I don't know. Maybe that's why you like it. Maybe it's like maybe there's some correlation there that you don't even really notice.
Yeah, maybe, and it just seems like something I definitely can't do, and quite similar to golf. I can't do it. Yeah, I keep trying and trying. So
Well, none of us can really do golf. We're all like just keep trying and trying. And so as we're recording this, Bryce, your pick last week is in the lead, and if he wins, Rory McIlroy, if he wins, he will be first. Number
Yeah.
one. Yeah, he'll be number 1 in the official world golf rankings. So I think the world of golf is going to be kind of on fire for the next little bit. People love Rory.
I wonder if
so-
I found my new horse for this year.
And Rory, maybe.
It was Hovland last year.
Yeah, it's always been a good pick. It's always been a really good pick. But always a goalie, Tyson? Always a goalie kind of growing up?
Pretty much. I believe I tried skating as a player at like 3 or something, just so, one of those learn to skates. Hated it. And then basically never got on skates again until I was 8, and then threw on the pads and yeah, played. I think I played right my first year on a pretty good team. So
yeah, that was kind of like me. I think I played out a little bit, and I was so bad. Went in net, and then like I was pretty flexible when I was a kid and stuff, and put on some pads. Like tried it one game, and then it just kind of stuck with it. But I know Bryce, you're kind of like a scrimmage goalie or something, aren't you? You get them on sometimes.
Well, I never once as a kid strapped the pads on. I don't know why. I think I did it once, hated it, and then just never got another chance to do it or didn't do it. So, but when we were in Plymouth, we had to stay for school after the season was over because we couldn't transfer back home because it was Canada to the U.S. or whatever. So we'd always skate every day, and I'd pretty much strap the pads on 4 of the 5 days of the week when we were scrimmaging. So I always kind of liked it. I was terrible at it, but it's just different, right? You get to be on the other side of the puck instead of so.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different.
You have
especially at that age too, like in that skill level, it's so different. Like
that would be so tough, man. Just like hopping in with those guys, like with those good shooters, that would be.
I mean, I would
terrifying.
just literally take the whole blocker side and just leave all glove and just I'd be just grabbing them all day.
Just like Felix the Cat, eh?
Yeah,
you've kind of got like a goalie's body now. They're all like big. Have you seen like much of that change, Tyson? Like in your time, I was saying like when I was younger, I was coming up and it like started to become like very much like really tall guys, like really lanky, like long limbs, like really big legs, really big arms, and like just covering as much of the net. Like that's kind of what squeezed me out, and just like natural talent that I did not have also. But it was it kind of has become like, you think of the goalies now, like I think the average height is like 6'2" or 3" in the NHL now, right?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely prefer them when they're taller, but I mean, all those guys also are super athletic, super strong, super technical. I mean, you don't really see too many huge guys just blocking in the net anymore. I mean, they really are skilled. But I mean, at the same time, you see a guy like UC Saros or Shostorkin or Gorgiev, the smaller guys, and they're just as successful because they're able to, manipulate their body in certain ways and play bigger than they are, look bigger than they are in the net, and hold their edges longer, stand up on shots, be a little more patient. I mean, if you're good enough, you're going to get there, size or not. It's just about doing the right things, I think. But I mean, yeah, if you can find a guy that's 6'3" and can do all those things, I mean, you're probably in a good spot there.
Yeah, just like Ben Bishop, or like I remember it kind of, for me, it felt like it started with like Jiggy back in the day, right? Like when Anaheim was kind of making that run, like that's when like bigger goalies really kind of came in. Like when I grew up, I was watching like Marty Brodeur, and Patrick Waugh was a pretty big guy, but like Marty Brodeur was like Marty Turco. Those guys were like a little bit smaller, but could move and like just really, really athletic. It was always kind of fascinating to watch those guys. They were so just, I don't know, just really, really like smooth, really clean. But then you have like Dominic Hasek as well. So it's kind of, I've seen so many different eras. It's been really cool. It's been really like kind of cool to see, just like golf, just like any other sport, kind of it evolve, right? So I wanted to ask you a little bit. So you get, kind of playing. You're from Belleville, so you're always playing junior hockey out there.
Yeah, I played for my first 2 years hockey. I played for the Belleville Bobcats, they were called at the time. It's now the Belleville Junior Bulls. Played another year there in AA, I believe. And then I played for the Quinny Red Devils, which is the AAA organization around here. And yeah, played there from, as long as I can remember, right till minor midget. Was lucky to play with a really, good group of guys. A couple guys that have gone on to have real good careers, and one playing in the NHL now. And yeah, it was being from Belleville, playing for Quinny, it's nice, it's fun. It's a very good, skilled center, talented. Even now, it's very deep. I find it's more talented now maybe than it even was then. So that's where I grew up playing, and just games around here were normally like Ajax, Pickering up there, Whitby. We'd play those guys. So those types. It was yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think that's what, like the Lakeshore Loop or whatever. I think that was the one I was in. We played in this loop against Coburg all the time, and they would just beat us up. Like they would just they, I think it was like a double A loop or something. So they didn't have a triple A market, and they were just like they would just smash all
Yeah,
the
because
penalties. Yeah.
Central kind of came in later to the picture, probably after you guys.
Yeah. So I think like at the time I was playing double A, and yeah, we just like go to the OMHA championships and end up beating Coburg like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away, and then they would just beat the pants off us every time, right? It's really, there was like a really big like variance from like us to them, but they were a good, really good market, really good team. So and you got drafted by Belleville, yeah?
I did, yes. I hometown. It was pretty strange. I didn't expect it. I remember actually going out for dinner with George Burnett, who was the GM at the time, about a week before the draft. And I remember going into the car after and saying, "That guy's not drafting me." And then yeah, he ended up drafting me. I was able to play in my hometown for 2 years, and it was pretty fun, man.
That's
Gotta
really
say.
cool. That's I've met George like a few times, quite a few times, being around the rink. So I kind of see why you think that he might not have drafted. He's pretty he's dry, right? But he's like
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
really
was
like
gonna
he's a
say
really
Brady would
incredible
know.
hockey mind, like really good hockey mind. He's just really dry, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Again, he's honestly so intelligent and very awesome guy, really nice guy, and just tough to get a lot out of him.
yeah, for sure. When you're when you get the call, whereabouts did you get drafted? What it was pretty early, wasn't
I was yeah. Unfortunately, now to talk about, I was a first rounder. I think it was 18th or 19th overall, I believe.
it? So what was that experience like for you? I know like I've talked to a few people. It's always kind of cool to hear the story of like getting the call or however it went.
Oh, well, it was actually on TV then. It wasn't like like TV, but they streamed it on the OHL website back then, and they had like the big show kind of deal. So it was it was cool, man. Like I remember Belleville's logo popping up and then saying they're waiting to make their pick, and then my phone went off, and yeah, I just remember crying like a little girl for a bit, and then yeah,
there you go.
it was pretty cool, man. It was a cool moment that pretty much started right then and there, though, that it was time to get to work because I
Yeah.
was in my hometown. There's really no room for mistakes and that kind of thing. So
Do you remember yours, Bryce? Did they call you all the way back there, or they just...
No, I had Plymouth. I talked to 13 teams, and Plymouth was not one of them. And I was in Toronto playing field lacrosse for Whitby during the time, and I remember all the moms just screaming, and we had no idea what it was for. And I was like the second or third one because Lemmer went, he was out there playing with us. Then a couple more guys went from our team, and then I went. And we just kept hearing all these screams from the moms, and we had no idea what it was. And then after the game, I found out that I got drafted. So
nice?
still a cool
So
feeling though. Either way, I feel like the feeling's probably the same.
yeah,
It's
for sure.
nothing else.
It was awesome, and I kind of lucked out because Plymouth didn't have a second or third, so I was technically their second pick.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I mean, I find I say it now a lot. It really doesn't matter where you get drafted. It's going to affect a couple things, and that's
yeah,
it don't
I
matter on
also
day.
I also lucked out because the team before they kind of made a big run and they had a lot of big names. So I think we had 12 rookies my first year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so I really lucked out there, and I probably wouldn't have made the team if there wasn't that many spots, honestly. So.
yeah. You went right to Plymouth, didn't you? Right.
Yeah, 6'1", 147 at camp. So
Nice.
I was
Yeah,
a
I
big
know that,
boy.
buddy. I was a buck 35, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we had some guys come back for camp before, like show camps, and like Tom Wilson and Connor Carrick and stuff,
Yeah.
and going to corners with those guys, and you just get pushed around. So
Yeah, Tommy always
yeah,
used to ride the red line. I'd love me and him. I'd get it
yeah,
on a little bit. He's a
he
good dude, though.
yeah, he's an animal, that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
he's a hell of a fantasy player, though. I've got him all the time, man.
Yeah, I got him on the IR, just chilling right
Just
now.
waiting, just waiting.
Yeah, 6 months, but he'll sit there until he makes his debut.
So
Yeah,
Bryce, you're 6'1", 148 now.
No, I'm cracked 170 this year, so I'm
I
about
like it.
172, 173 now.
Tyson Bryce hits the ball a long way, like so. He's a pretty tall guy, and he just like absolutely crushes the ball. We've talked about it quite a bit, but
all in the
yeah,
hips, eh?
just a big
Oh
lag,
yeah,
really big lag.
I get
and
the
just,
arms out there too.
So you started in Belleville, you moved to Erie. So Brycer's
Cool.
got a connection. His younger brother's played, well, pretty much his whole career in Erie. I think it was, right? So
Full OHL career in
yeah,
here,
London, Mississauga, and Kitchener. So moved
Go
around a little
Dukes.
bit. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to the Dukes. We'll get to the Dukes. You guys have a bit of
Yeah.
a connection there for sure. But you got a favorite spot there? You got a favorite team out of those ones that you like?
Oh, jeez. You
I
know,
mean, off ice, it's got to be. I guess on ice and off ice. London.
you already know my answer there. But I mean, it's every city was awesome. Kitchener is really nice as well, man. Like
Mhm.
I love that. I love playing at every organization. They were all great. The cities were nice, but nothing beats London. And especially
No.
that year, we won the OHL. It was special at that time. Nothing really beats winning an OHL championship in that barn, and then
No.
a night out in London right after that is something that was one of the that's one of the better nights of my life for sure. That was super cool playing there, man, and what a city.
This team was stupid, by the way.
Well, because they've got like one of the biggest barns too, I guess, in the OHL, right? Like it's
Yeah.
that or Ottawa. I think Ottawa's like really big too, but
Ottawa's
No, I think
big.
London's the biggest. Like,
yeah.
I think it's London and Kitch, right? I believe.
I think Kitch added seats recently too, like since
Yeah.
well, you would have been in the league, I think, but I think Kitch, London, and Ottawa would probably all be up there. I'd assume.
Yeah.
Man, this team is wild.
I mean, listen to this team: Rupert, Griffith, Domi, Nemestikov, Athanasiou, the other Rupert, Josh Anderson, Bo Horvat, Chris Tierney, Oli Mata, Jared Tenorti. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I sat on the bench a lot.
Well, you had Patterson, who was one of the studs in the OHL. Like,
Yeah, well, Batter was me and him both kind of just split on whoever was
Did
at
you?
the bench. Basically, beside House, Michael
Oh,
House.
who is this guy?
He's played games for Buffalo recently. He's incredible.
Oh.
He's a really good dude and a hell of a goalie, man. Like,
I
awesome
remember.
guy, but he was insane.
I remember
remember
watching
that
him
name.
quite a bit. Yeah, I remember watching him quite a bit. He's pretty
So
good.
good.
And then he went to like he pretty much
good.
just went like directly into the AHL and just kind of like floated there for a little bit. So why do you think it's so hard? Like we asked Stewie the same question. Like why do you think it's so hard for guys like even at that level, like elite level goaltenders, like or any players really? Like why is it so hard to crack to get to that next level?
I would say consistency. I find that's probably the biggest issue with a lot of people, especially at our position, goalies. It's you can't have a couple nights off within a week and in a month. You have to perform, and you got to do it day in and day out, and you got to have a short-term memory, be able to deal with whatever. I would say consistency and just how you work. I find that's a big thing. Not just going out there and running through drills, but making sure you're going out there with a purpose and getting better every time you practice. That's probably the two biggest things for me that I would say.
I think that sounds a lot like golf, right? Like you have to like really be consistent. And lately, like Brycer and I have been firing off kind of a lot of NCAA pods, like a lot of players from that are playing at NCAA, and that's been like a constant. Is just talking about like the consistency, and it's pretty neat. So they'll have like say they have a team of like we've heard of 7, 8, something like that, and I think at Finley they were saying that they had like 13 or something like that. They had a deep
14,
team.
I think you said.
Yeah, but only 5 play, right? And then you might have a couple individuals play depending on the tournament. So 5 guys play, top 4 scorers go in. So, when you're same type of thing, like team game, like it's all competitive. You guys like you want to play, you want to be consistent to get that spot, right? So it's kind of I don't know, it's cool how like all the different sports kind of correlate or have a direct correlation between the others. It's so like I don't know, consistency is tough. Like that's something that I had a little bit of today in my game, but it is so hard. It is so hard to keep it consistent. Like well, Brycer knows that. Last time we played, he like rolled in 90 foot of putts and like 4 holes, and then it's like trying to continue to do that, right? It's so tough. It's like I guess you're working with should mention we're in conversation with Tyson Teichmann. Am I saying that correct, Tyson?
Yeah, it's Teichmann, but don't worry about it. Everybody gets it
Teichmann. Okay, Tyson. Teichmann. I can get that. But founder of the Tyson Teichmann Goaltender Academy. So is there anything that you're working with? Like are you typically working with younger guys right now? I know you're working in Coburg a little bit as well.
Yeah, I work with I'm with the Cougars. I'm their goalie coach this season. I'm working with Ryan Puros and Matthew Sprocka there. Two very talented kids. They both have really good foundation. They came that way when they came to us. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with those guys. I have one of my students is Mason McCarry. He's in Kingston this year. He's actually going to play today in Oshawa against the Gens. He's been having a good year. I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes for them, helping out with Corey Cooper there. He's one of my good pals and a good goalie coach of mine. And then other than that, I'm doing a lot of clinics, private, semi-privates with the younger kids in the Belleville area, Trenton area, and that's the stuff I really love doing. It's really fun seeing them get better and improve, and kids are just hilarious and they're the best, man. They tell you exactly what they're thinking.
Is there any trends you see like in the game right now? Like again, Stu, you were saying like things are constantly changing. You guys are like, when you're teaching at the levels that you guys are at, you're constantly like evolving your game just like you would any other sport. But is there any trends that you see kind of with goalies coming in like right now? I remember kind of, back in the day when I was playing, there was like a lot of focus on like post positioning and like I don't know if I'm even saying that correctly, but just like where your pads would align with the post and stuff like that, and kind of changing from more of like obviously butterfly was sort of in a little bit before I was, but you see any of those trends that you're kind of like really focusing on with players right now?
There is a lot of trends like that. I mean, I don't really tend to focus in on any certain thing. I try to do it based on the individual in front of me, and whatever they may need in that day, that week, whatever we're struggling on, whatever needs to be, whatever bad habits need to be kicked then. So that's kind of how I like to approach practices, and how I go about my coaching. A lot of coaches are probably very similar, but there is a big trend on still post play, as you said. It's if there's a big, almost a debate in the goalie scene, I guess. So there's this new Panda padlock or the RVH, the VH, overlap. Those are all just different positions to use on your post right there that I said. So it's becoming a bit scientific. It's becoming a bit almost overcomplicated, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, there's still a big focus on that. For me personally, I'm going to try to whatever we need to deal with that day, that week. That's what we're going to work at that day in practice. And throughout the summer, we do more bigger game plans like that. Yeah.
Well, for like,
Yeah, I want
sorry, Bryce. I was gonna say like
to.
for whatever shot we have, like we're not gonna reinvent a shot that we don't know, right? So it's kind of like when you're thinking of how you're kind of hugging the post or whatever it may be, or like if one guy's comfortable doing one thing, like I remember I was obviously a lot more comfortable pushing off one side than the other and trying to like work in different ways of doing that. So it's similar to like any sport like golf, and you're kind of just, I guess you're just trying to work with that player with kind of what they bring to you and make that what skill they have in that area the best they possibly can. Sorry, Brycer, go ahead, man.
No, I was just I wanted to go back to your game and kind of you playing and just kind of go, because you played in a league that was a lot different than I played in. I feel like you guys had a lot of like superstars during that time. Maybe it's just because they're all kind of making it now, or that sort of stuff. But I mean, who was the hardest kind of team or players that you remembered you were kind of like, oh, I'm going up against him tonight, it's gonna be a tough night? Like, any names stick out? I'm sure there's gotta be a couple.
Anytime anytime you practice with that London team, just
Well,
like
yeah, but practice is different. There's
Yeah.
got to be nights where you're just dreading going between those pipes because there's 2 or 3 guys in that team that'll just come down.
Oh, buddy, there's a lot. Yeah, and again, I don't think it was just a better league then. I think it's like you said, just kind of the timing of how
Yeah.
they're just really grown into their prime now. A lot of those guys that I played against, they've been good there forever since the junior days. Trust me on that. But I mean, there's a couple teams, man. That Swedish U18 team I played in the Ivan Alenka, that was something else. That was
Yeah.
and Oscar. I think it was Clefbaum. He took my front teeth out from a blue line shot. The Erie Otters when I was in Kitch and Mississauga, London. That was a crazy team. McDavid, Barkov. There's a lot, man.
Who did Barkov play for?
I think it was Erie, wasn't it?
I didn't know that.
I could be wrong.
But I know they had like Davo, Dane Fox, Connor Brown, McDermott, like big blue line Genovese. Like they had some.
Yeah,
They had a good team.
Barkov. I think it might have been Andre Barkov, not Sash.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. Yeah,
So he was a good player.
yeah.
But obviously McDavid. There's a couple teams, man. That like I said, probably that Swedish team on paper freaked me out the most. I would say.
Yeah.
Just that was something scary to watch at and to look at, and then know I'm going to play against those guys.
You ever like have a player where you think you tried to change your game a little bit based on you facing off against them?
Did they change their game or did I change mine?
Did you change your game, I guess, to try to I don't know, find a bit more success?
Yeah. I was gonna say nobody's changing their game around mine. They'd have bigger issues if they did. But I would definitely, for certain players and teams for sure. Like if you do your video and watch the power plays and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna have to adapt little things. But normally depth is something I would try to manipulate based on who I was playing. Like Erie, if I had McDavid come down the wing, I would do my best to get out a little further and take away the angles, kind of force him to pass, and then try to trust my athleticism across and trust somebody else fumbling it instead of it going to his stick.
Yeah.
Didn't always work. Actually, rarely worked. But that's just little things like that, and that's kind of things I think guys at the next level and guys in junior now that are having success, those are the things they're doing.
Yeah, I'm still pretty convinced he's an alien of some sort. I don't think he's human still to this day, but
He's
it hasn't been proven yet. But I wouldn't be surprised one day if they came out and suspended him for something.
Did you see that thing he did with his stick last night? Like bouncing.
Like it's just, oh, I love it. It's awesome.
Well, you were telling the story the one time, Bryce, about how you didn't you go into like a corner with him or something? And then
He got the puck on the I was like the fourth line guy. I never really made the jump. I was kind of like a low bottom six guy, and we iced the puck, and McDavid, DeBrincat, and Strong or Radish come on the ice. So this is a little bit, couple years into my career.
Yeah.
Whatever. I flipped the puck out, high flip to kind of get out. Like I'm off the ice, like I'm getting torched out here by these guys. I kind of went left side, D to D. I kind of tried to. It was going to be an icing, so they all went to the bench, and I tried to beat the icing out. I did beat the icing. It like kind of made it a play at the goal line. They waved it off. It came around to McDavid on the half wall, and I kind of curled off my defenseman and went. I was like, I'm gonna crush him. I'm gonna like make a big play, like whatever. And I just went to hit him and turned around, and he kind of made a quick move, and I just turned around. He's 6 steps going the other way, and I changed on the back check. So that's my my McDavid story for everyone.
He's so fast, man. Like
it's insane,
unbelievable, and he can shoot in that stride. That's what made him so tough to stop. Like he wouldn't stop moving his feet to release.
I know, and the way I explain it too is people don't understand seeing him like being on the same ice surface as him is even more insane than watching him on TV. People will never understand that until you're on the same ice surface. In my opinion, that's my opinion, but honestly, he's a freak of nature for sure.
I can only imagine he's faster now too, which is scary.
Yeah. Scary, man. Scary. Even like seeing him in like just I've watched a couple games like in real time watching him and like seeing all these players that are the best in the world, and then I don't know, it's not close. Like it doesn't.
And he's just better.
It just doesn't feel like it's that close. But
it's not.
Tyson, if you could model your game like after any goalie, I know it's constantly evolving. Is there anybody that growing up that you were trying to kind of be like? I was always trying to be like Patrick Waugh, trying, not ever. Yeah, but anybody that you would, or anybody that you see now that you might model your game after, if you could.
Yeah, I mean, back then when I was playing, it bounced between Marc-Andre Fleury and Carey Price, kind of a mix of both, if I could. Now, like today's NHL, man, that's tough. There's some pretty really, some really special talents. JB Jordan Bennington, he's a good friend of mine. Played against him a lot. I love watching him play, and he really is super talented. If I could model my game, though, it'd have to be UC Saros. I really love how that guy plays, uses his size, and he's an extremely good goalie.
He's really like what's the word? Acrobatic, isn't he? Like the style he plays, or is that just what I think of him?
Yeah, no, he uses that when he needs to for sure. But it's just little things for me, like the way he holds his edges. His ankles are super strong. He can keeps his spine angle up when he gets low in his stance. It's just little things like that for me that are, just kind of a goalie coach's dream and a goalie's dream to have.
Could Justin Bieber have scored on Jordan Binnington?
Yes, once for sure.
Out of how many shots?
10.
I think he got 10. I think he could have snuck one.
No
I haven't seen
way.
the Beebs play, but JV is pretty sick, so I hope not. I'm gonna say no.
I'm
I
definitely going with
mean,
the no.
Justin Bieber literally he could play the game. Like he could skate and he wasn't good, but
Um,
it's okay. I think he could have squeezed one.
I
Yeah.
think
I've
okay.
seen clips. He doesn't look terrible.
No, he definitely doesn't look terrible. Like I was gonna say, if you haven't seen anything, I would picture your like standard C level, like men's league hockey player, and
Yeah, okay.
yeah, he's pretty decent. Like he's pretty decent. I just don't think there's
I'm still
any.
going 0. I'm
Yeah,
bad.
I'm
Yeah.
going big 0 for sure. I don't think there's a shot. We were asking Stewie that question because Stewie's
I'd
the
go at least 50%
yeah,
on Benner, dude. At least.
yeah. And I know I'm sure he hears all the time, but he got me a shutout the other night. I drafted him after we had Stewie on the pod. I drafted him. He said it was gonna be a big year, and he got a shutout from me the other night. So
That is, I can second that. That did happen.
yeah. So I went ahead
Shout out
and
Stewie.
I didn't take him early. I actually sat and waited, and he kind of like felled me at the perfect time, and I grabbed him. So I drafted one goalie in a 5-star league. So I'm in a lot of trouble. So thank you, Jordan Biddington, for
My
helping me
goalies
out.
are
Yeah.
nuts this year. I got Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky, and Allmark in my one league, and then I have Vasilevsky, um, Ottinger, and Bobrovsky.
That's
in my
pretty
other league.
good. That's
Oh,
pretty good. Ottinger's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. As you guys know, we picked up a new sponsor with BetStamp, so we're just going to hop in. We got a couple picks for the Butterfield Bermuda Championship that we're going to go through, and then we want to kind of bring Tyson back, talk about the academy. We got to talk about the golf game a little bit, and we haven't even got to that yet, and grab some socials, kind of wrap some things up, and yeah, just see how the golf game is currently doing right now for you, though, Tyson. But yeah, we'll just jump right in. We'll be right back. All right, Bogey Bets presented by BetStamp. Download the BetStamp app using our referral code OTS Golf, and you can get access to all of our picks in lifetime access at all professional leagues, not just golf, but this is mainly a golf pod, so that's what we're kind of encouraging here. We got their Bermuda Butterfield Championship, so we are going to get in on a couple of those picks, and if you want to do the same, you can head over to BetStamp app, again, using the promo code OTS Golf. Get onto an onboarding session. Each of the sports books that you sign up for, you'll get $20 back. Be compensated for each one of those that you do. So the way BetStamp works, it's kind of like an educational platform where you can compare all of the best lines across all of the major sports books and shop the best lines so you can hit those on the screws. I don't know. I used that last time, Brycer. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good line.
Sorry about that.
That's all
I was
right.
getting a phone call from my buddy, and it came right through my computer there.
Yeah, I thought
But yeah, the bogey bets at the Bermuda. What is it called?
Bermuda
What's the name?
Butterfield. Bermuda Butterfield.
Butterfield presented by BetStamp. There's a lot of B's there. Love it.
Yeah, we're so good at this one. But pretty much, yeah, so we partnered up with BetStamp. And, the good thing is you can kind of log onto the app. You see if you've logged on to 6 or 7 or 8, 9, 10 different sports books, as we all use quite a few now. It's going to tell you, say you want to go in and pick, Brycer to win the Bermuda Butterfield Championship. It's going to tell you what he is paying at DraftKings, at BetMGM, at Caesars, all the different ones. And you can just simply click the best one and make the best return on your investment. So head over to BetStamp app. Don't forget to use OTS Golf. And if you've already done it by chance and you use BetStamp, you can still go back into your profile and plug in OTS Golf. Helps at the pod a ton, so we appreciate that. Brycer, why don't you kick us off the first one? You go ahead.
Yeah, my odds probably wouldn't be that good, honestly, for the Bermuda Butterfield there. The field doesn't look that great, but I got Nick Taylor for top 5 MGM, which is like my normal account that I use. He was only plus 700, and I went over to BetStamp and checked if there were any better odds, and PointsBet actually had him for plus 900.
Nice.
So that's a big jump there. Definitely making a couple extra bucks if that hits. So
good Canadian boy. We've talked about. I know we had Hazel Golf on. He's got a Super Mario Kart cover made by Hazel Golf that I've seen in person actually at the Canadian Open, which was really cool. I'm going to start mine off with the top 5 for Aaron Rye. So Aaron Rye, I think, is I'll definitely have a line on him for winning this tournament somewhere else, but for this purpose, I'm going to go top 5. I was looking through a couple. Scorebet had him at plus 500. I figured it had to be better. Open up BetStamp app and got him at DK DraftKings for plus 650. That's pretty easy money, I think, this week. for sure.
Yeah, I got Alex Smiley.
Smiley
I
coffee.
got him for plus 650 on PointsBet. I don't know why, but PointsBet, they get pretty good odds for your top five. Again, I had him on MGM at 500 and WinBet at 550. So again, a couple extra bucks there using BetStamp, and why wouldn't I? You're right. There's no downside to looking and checking and shopping those lines and getting the best odds.
For sure. Next one I went with was top 10 Brandon Matthews, not to be confused with Brandon Matthew, who is the custom putter builder that we've had back on in 3 or 4 months ago now. So if you haven't checked out that episode, go do so because it is a really cool one. BetMGM plus 1,000 using the BetStamp app, found it for plus 1,400 on Bet365 and on ScoreBet for plus 1,400. 400 points there is like, and I think that might be one of my most sure locks. Like Brandon Matthews is the longest player in professional golf right now, I think. Like aside from long drive hitters, like I don't know, he hits the ball further than you do, Bryce. So it's I like that one. He's got some pretty good game. He rolls it pretty well. So I think top 10 there is pretty clean.
Yeah, I got Tristan Rye outright.
Aaron Rye.
Or sorry, geez, Aaron Rye. I don't see why he can't win this tournament.
No.
He was playing some really good golf towards the end of the season last year, and I'm sure he's still playing pretty well. So he was at Caesars for plus 2,500, which I didn't think was great, so I wasn't gonna do it. And then found him on BetMGM for plus 3,000. So took the extra 500 points there and locked that bet in. So Aaron Rye hopefully has a good week.
And future guest of the pod, James Nicholas. I say that James and I have talked, and we're trying to set up a date. He's a very, very busy guy, but one of the best content creators out there too, playing golf. So if you're really into seeing like an absolutely beautiful swing, seeing some really nice courses, he does some drone work. Go check out James Nicholas over on Instagram. But yeah, top 20. We got James top 20 in the Bermuda Butterfield Championship. Listen to this one, Bryce. DraftKings has this top 20 at plus 750. Found it at BetMGM using the BetStamp app at plus 1,700. What a difference.
Wow. Yeah.
Massive difference. I think it's just it doesn't have a lot of PGA Tour tournaments under his belt, so that's why, I guess, right? So pretty big discrepancy there. So we're locking that one in for it'd be a huge, huge feat for him to finish in the top 20 here. And I think that it'd be really good for him and just, you know, guys kind of grinding those like I know he's playing PGA Tour Canada this year and kind of trying to get Corn Ferry Tour status and you know, just those content creators on you know, the golf space as well. I'm going to give a little plug for another bet that I found over on DraftKings when I was going through top 5 for Seamus Power and Aaron Rye plus 4,000. Both those guys could easily win the tournament, so I think that is a pretty good bet. Even if you you know, just want to go over, have a look at it, throw a couple bucks down, that's good.
I would
money.
hammer that personally.
Very good. And over on BetMGM plus 237 for a hole in one. So you know how much we like hole in ones here on the pod. So definitely have a line on that one. So plus 237 to make a hole in one. Somebody make one for me. Just love seeing it on the highlights too. So Bryce, are you good? You got anything else you wanted to throw in there?
No, I think I'm good.
All right,
Try to enjoy it this week, even though the field isn't the best.
Yeah, go over to BetStamp app, use the promo code OTS Golf, sign up. You'll get some, you know, a few bucks back for every sports book that you sign up for that you can roll a few bets in yourself and, yeah, make a few bucks here and there. Let's get back into the episode with Tyson Teichmann.
Oh, this just in. First ever live fan mail on the OTS pod from one Josh Saprika. Ask him about the ball hockey championship he just won this year. What a beauty he is. End quote.
Oh, soupy, man. Well, as you know, your best man there was I'll be honest with you, buddy. He was not committed the first half of the year.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me though.
We're gonna have to call him out on that right here and now.
Love it.
But you know, he got it together the second half season, showed up and got himself into shape. And we won a championship. I think we went 24-0 or something like that. Played in a little Tuesday night league. It was supposed to be once a week. Turned out to be 2 or 3 games a week, which was way too much for my hips. but we battled through, and yeah, our team won a little championship, had a little cup party at Shawzy's house, and it was all good fun, man. That ball hockey is a tough sport, though, man. I'll tell you that. It's
Yeah. Who else was on that team? You had Chazzy, Soupy. Do you have like Brownie and Panetta in them?
Brownie, Panetta, Jay Shaw, Andrew Shaw, Devin McCann, Josh Suprika,
Do you have was
oh,
Cammy out there?
Cam.
Paprika? No.
No, he was on a different team. He was on
Oh,
one of the other teams.
you guys
Uh,
had BMO there?
yeah, BMO played on our team for, yeah, he was a defenseman with us. And then we had some other guys, Pat Millington, Ty Poole, manager, a bunch of guys. It was a really good group of guys, which is really what you want for ball
There's
hockey.
a lot of skill on that team too.
There turned out to be a lot of skill and
Yeah.
a lot of Bud Light strength after the games. So,
Yeah.
So
That's
you
awesome.
played in net there as well?
yeah, unfortunately, buddy, I got conned
Man.
into that. So
I remember like playing ball hockey. We had a pretty competitive like high school unit, and like I
Mm.
hated playing in net for that. I'd never go in net. It was the worst.
Oh, I don't enjoy it at all. And they know that. And that's why I think they try pretty hard to give me limited work. And that's probably why, we did so well, was because those guys. It definitely wasn't my goaltending. I'll tell you that right now. But it is a lot of fun, actually. I do enjoy it. It's nice to get out of the house, well, off the ice and onto a different surface once a week.
I feel like it's just guessing. Like the way the ball comes in, you're just like it's like a knuckler almost. It's so
and guys can rip it too.
Yeah.
But guys curve it on purpose. Like
Oh,
Brownie's like got an absolute cannon in that. Jay Shaw's got a missile. It's crazy, and it does just do whatever it wants. But I figured out, if you're shooting right, it's probably going to curve to the left.
Mm-hmm.
If you're shooting left, it's probably going. It's kind of like putt downhill, I guess. That's pretty much how I would treat it. But it's stuff like that, right? So it's tough sport, though, man. Don't enjoy it, but I do like hanging out with the guys and stuff. It was fun.
I want to go into Wellington a little too, if you don't mind. Did you end your career there?
I did, yeah. So my OA year, I started in Kitch. Loved it there. I got like 7, 8 games in, and then just had some stuff going on. Had to decide to move home and be closer there. Yeah, so I ended up playing in Wellington because I wasn't ready to quite give up the game and all that. So I really enjoyed my time there. Actually, it was a lot of fun. Really love that place.
It's one of my favorite places.
Yeah, it's really, really nice little town there. One stop sign, one red light, and yeah, I love it there, man. Great little city, great spot to play junior hockey. Enjoyed my time thoroughly. Marty Abrams was the guy there at the time. So it was fun playing for him. He's a nice dude. But yeah, no, I really liked it there. You liked it, yeah?
I loved it. Did you guys how'd you guys do there that year?
We hosted the Dud. We ended up losing to the Lakeshore 2-1 or 3-2 in the final. Pretty tough.
Okay. Yeah, my story was a little crazy. So I was playing in Chatham in the Gouge for my OA year with Soupy. I brought him over to play with us. We were roommates there, and then they asked him to sign an AP card because he played there when he was 16, so he kind of was familiar, and he's from Belleville. He signed an AP card, and we were sitting and hanging out one night, and he was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna sign it, whatever. I was like, why wouldn't you extend your like hockey career as long as you can? I was like, I'll go with you. Like, ask them if they'll send me a card. And then so a couple days later they send me a card. I was on Xbox playing with my other two buddies from that I met up in Sault Ste. Marie when I played there. They played in Niagara Falls in the Gouge, and I was bragging how like, oh, I'm going to play with the Dukes after, and they're kind of like, well, we want to come? Can they send me 4 of us after we both lost in the first round in junior B? 4 of us met at my house in Whitby, played that night that we both lost the night before, played the next day in Wellington, and then kind of took off, won the league, won the OJ, won the Dud, lost in the final of the RBC. So it was a wicked ride. It was a wicked ride.
That's a fun league to play in, man. I'm telling you.
It is good.
When I left the OHL, everybody, you would just assume it's going to be easier or whatever. It's definitely not. It's different. It's definitely not easier though. And great league though, man. And again, the playoff runs there are fun.
Well, I said the best decision I ever made in my hockey career was to leave the OHL. Just because I was always kind of that bubble guy, that fringe guy, but then my 19-year-old year just wasn't getting much time, and I just kind of decided it was best for me to go somewhere where I can play and have fun towards the end of my career. So it was the best decision I made.
I definitely enjoyed it there, man. I said the same. I had same words. The most fun I had was playing in Wellington for sure. Like playing hockey,
Yeah.
being able to kind of relax, not having so much anxiety and pressure about whatever else, in that other league. But I mean, I enjoyed both leagues a lot, and Wellington was awesome to me. Love them. Unfortunately, I'm a Cougars coach now, so I can't do much support. But yeah, no, I mean, great spot, great organization, great city, great people, and a great rank.
Yeah.
It's a really good
Awesome
rank.
barn.
Yeah.
All right, it wasn't that league. I was getting that confused, Bryce, because you went and played in Windsor for a little bit in the GMHL or whatever.
Yeah, that was so the only reason I played there is because I went to school in the States, high school, and the University of Windsor would not take my US grades. So I had to do a year of community college. So instead of sitting around doing nothing, I played in the GMHL.
Nice.
81 goals and 72 assists in 37 games.
Yeah, it was a bit of a
Not bad.
shit
Not
show.
bad. But when you're in Chatham, that was in the Goats. That was pretty good. You played well there. You had good stats there, man. Last year, 68 points, 49 games. That's good.
I had a lot of fun.
That's a good league. That's a really good league.
The Goj is a decent league. Yeah, my younger brother's actually lighting it up right now. So
yeah, I got calls from Chatham when I left the OHL, but I wanted to be closer to home. That was
No, I enjoyed it. It was a good league.
Is that the one that Blaker's in right now? He's playing in there.
He's playing in the same league.
St.
He plays
Catharines,
for St. Catharines. Yeah.
Right. All right, we made it through 9, and this glizzy is brought to you by our friends over at Manscaped, manscaped.com. You can go over, check out the Ultra Premium Collection, or anything that you need to not suffer through the back 9 here. Using the promo code OTS Golf, you will get 20% off plus free shipping, and maybe you'll go low on the back. Thank you for supporting the episode. Thank you for supporting the pod. Manscaped.com, 20% off using the promo code OTS Golf. Free shipping right to your door. Enjoy the pod. Can we talk about the academy a little bit, Tyson?
Yeah, sure.
So, how'd you get it started up? Like, was it something that when you kind of stepped away from hockey a little bit, were you kind of always teaching, or is it always something that you want to get into?
Yeah, I mean, I've been helping out at clinics and stuff for my former boss and somebody that I couldn't be like where I am without John Elkin out of Toronto. He's I believe he's the head of Leafs goaltending development now. He was my goalie coach growing up. One of the many people that I have to thank and for helping me with in the net and off the ice. But I worked for him when I was younger, and then when I was playing at UOIT in Oshawa, I was bored when I wasn't not in class or going to the rink, trying to make some money, so I would instruct for him. I ended up falling in love with it, and kind of, that's, I would say, before my last year, I kind of knew I'd prefer to coach instead of play anymore. I like, watching the kids get better. I was more excited about doing that than trying to go improve myself at 22 at the rink at that point in time. So I didn't start that for a while. I worked for John for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years as his head instructor, working there. Loved it. Again, I can't thank him enough. And he's taught me a lot, and on not just how to play, but on how to coach, and which I find is a completely different skill. I don't think it's real easy just to pick up coaching just because I played and be able to say that, hey, I know how to coach now. So I do have John to thank for that. But I ended up moving home about a year ago to this month, a year ago. And that's when I decided, I don't want to do anything else. So I'll start my own goalie school.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like how Stewie had done it, right? Like he kind of traveled down to, I think he was in, I can't remember what city he said he was in, but he popped back up, and then he had done a little bit of work up here in Port Hope, and then kind of moved back down and ended up getting hooked up with a couple different teams. And yeah, just, is that something that you want to do? You want to kind of take it to the next level, or do you kind of like working with the kids? Aspirations of, going to the pro level eventually?
I love working with the kids. That's not something I'll ever stop. That's honestly, it's the most humbling experience it can be, where especially working with like a brand new, 8-year-old goalie. That is like such a fun session. I'll always remember sessions like that. Obviously, I love working with elite players. It's just so fun to watch how skilled and talented these kids are nowadays. I want my goal is to, end up in a position like Stewie, where, you're working development for an NHL team. As a kid, I always wanted to play in the NHL. Closest I got was a training camp. or rookie camp, sorry. And, now that I'm really enjoying this coaching process, my goal is to get back to the NHL somehow in some way. And I think this is, my best chance is this avenue, but one step at a time, like everything else. I'm with the Cougars now. I'm hoping to make a jump up to the next level here soon at some point and go from there. But yeah, I'll always enjoy working with the kids and still do that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that he said, like with the developmental aspect. Like, I guess I got a young guy out in Peterborough who's one of their top prospects right now, and when we were playing around a golf together, him and I out at Port Hope, and he was saying, it's kind of great where he is right now. He still gets to see, not young guys, not like single digits or like 10-year-olds or anything like that, but he still gets to see, teenagers kind of develop and become, men or women and kind of grow into the game. And it's like that would definitely be a really cool, like fulfilling part of that. So if you can still work both of those in, that's great. And then, eventually later in his career, he's probably going to want to be, just the, I guess, goalie coach or whatever it might be. I know he works like directly with them, so it's pretty cool. Like when you get to that level, it's kind of cool with all the I don't know, experiences that he was kind of sharing with us. It was definitely pretty neat. So if anybody's listening to the pod, I know we got a lot of hockey players or any parents that are listening and have any young ones that might want to develop their game a little bit. Tyson's Instagram is linked below, so hopefully we can send them there if you don't mind, Tyson. And if they might be interested in kind of reaching out to you, getting a little bit of information about how you go about doing any of your instructing or your teaching, please do so. I'll link the Instagram below, but we got to ask, how's the golf game? We've thanks to anybody who's a golf fan listening to the pod still, but we got to ask how the golf game is a little bit. Did you get out much this year?
I got out as much as possible this season. It was more than any year before. Definitely should have paid for a membership. I'll tell you that right now. Won't be making that mistake next season. But golf game is very below average consistently. I mean, I'm never shooting in the 90s now, which is fantastic. I'm happy about that. But breaking 80 is like the goal. The closest I've came is I was an 81 or an 82 at Black Bear this year in Belleville. That's a great course, and I was really on that day. But I'm pretty consistently okay. It really depends on if I'm slicing the ball off with my driver. Just losing those strokes in the woods, man. I'm telling you, they're killer.
Yeah, Black Bear's a tough course too, especially depending on what tees you're playing, because that thing is a beast from the back, like an absolute beast. Bryce, you
got two good tracks right there though, Black Bear and
Trillium. Trillium's right
Trillium.
there.
Yeah. They're both beautiful, and I play a lot of Bay Quinny, which is like in the middle of Belleville and Trenton. That place is in great shape right now too. I really like that course too.
Yeah, my brother was out there. He's a member there at Bay Quinny for a few years. I played there quite a bit. It was pretty nice. Like I would go and play around for like $50 or something too. It's like
yeah,
cheap,
they're not crazy expensive, and like always in good shape too. So I can't complain.
I really liked that spot. It was really good. Trillium was really nice. Black Bear it's great. I remember I had like one of my best rounds last year there. I went into 11, I think is the par 5, like it's like 628 yards or something.
Yeah.
Put up a snowman on that one. That was a little tough. And then I actually like played pretty well right up until I think I went double, triple to end. So it's just like, aside from those 3 holes, it was 15-hole course. I was playing pretty well, but it's fun. It's fun if you're out there. Like I know it's still like a top 50 course in Canada, and it's like one of the best condition courses in Canada too. The layout's a little tricky. It's a little unique, a little strange at times in some of the holes, but it's fun, man. It's really fun, and it can beat you up. Like if you're not hitting it well off the tee, you're gonna be in for a long day. So it's a long course. Like I think even like if you tip it up, it's like 7,000, might be 7,000 plus or something. It used to be an old Brycer, I think I was telling you that when I played there. It used to be an old Mackenzie Tour stop or PGA Tour Canada stop back in the day. So that was a while back. But A-Dub, who we had on a few weeks ago from VCU, I think he had played there. I think he had played an event there, which was pretty cool. So, but yeah, there's some nice courses, really nice courses out there. Have you played, Bryce, what's that one out here? Timber. Have you played Timber at all yet?
No, not out by you guys.
No, it's kind of like... Yeah, it's like right in between. You had played there, right? Timber Ridge, Bryce?
Yeah, I played there once.
Timber Ridge.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's like 5. I'm literally 7 minutes down the road.
Yeah, that's so I'm at Port Hope. If you're ever out this way, Tyson, we got to tee it up at Port Hope. But
absolutely. I didn't know you were that close.
Yeah, I'm probably, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes west of that. So that's a course that I played this year. Played a ton of rounds there. That's where I was this morning. It was good, man. It was so good. I love that course. But it'll beat you up. The greens will beat you up. And so will Timber Ridge. It's like, it's nasty there. I shot a 74 or 75 or something there last year, but I think I still had like 33 putts or something. It's a tough course, man. It's
Yeah,
not
it's the
easy.
layers, man. All the layers
Yeah.
on the greens, and they put some greasy pin placements in there
It's
sometimes.
like moguls. It's like skiing moguls on some of
Yeah,
those and stuff. It's crazy, but it's well known for that. It's always in pretty good shape and it's a pretty good
yeah,
course. And yeah, lots of good tracks out here. I know Bryce and I are gonna try and play a little bit more out here in the next little while. So
nice.
yeah, it's definitely always cool to kind of talk golf. Is there anything that's like sticking out in your game that you're trying to work on right now? Like, is it pretty much off the tee?
Yeah, oh yeah, buddy. It's the never ending battle with that. It's if I'm not slicing the ball, it's not bad, but I got to figure out what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna actually get a golf lesson next year. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop thinking I'm good enough. I might just go get one and see if somebody can help me a little bit.
Have you got fit for a driver ever?
No,
Go
no.
get fit. It'd be a big help.
Everybody says that too. I literally was using like a Canadian Tire set of clubs for about 8 years. I just bought like my first decent pair this year, and they definitely help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm inconsistent with yardages and things. Like I'm good with my
Yeah.
wedges, but I can hit my pitching wedge 160 yards sometimes, and then it will go nowhere the next day. It's just so confusing, and I think that's just the sign of a terrible golfer.
Well, a lot of that though, like the fitting process, like I know we've talked to Mikey from TXG quite a few times, and it's like controlling those spin rates and stuff too, right? So you're gonna miss hit the ball a lot, like
Mhm.
guys that I think we're probably all grouped in at a fairly similar level, but guys at our level, we miss hit the ball enough that it's going to spin it up quite a bit, and that's where we see that like massive loss in yardage and distance is based on a lot of that stuff, right? And those
Yeah.
inconsistent strikes. So some days there's only a couple. Today I definitely only had a couple, but it definitely makes a difference if you go and get fit or if you're able to, definitely go get a lesson. There's so many good pros around the area here and make a trade, man. Find somebody that's like playing a little golf or that's looking to get a little bit better. That's a golf pro or something like that. And just trade a little bit of time. And I'm sure it'll help. Like it'll definitely help for me. Like I know I take the club a little bit back to inside. If you're slicing, you're obviously kind of coming over the top a little bit.
Mhm.
That's not for us, but listen back to some of the pods. I'm sure Bryce, we got somebody who's probably giving us some tips at some point over
Yeah.
the year, but Bryce should help you off the tee, man. He just hits it like, I don't know, 330 carry, something like that with, hits it
Nice.
straight too. And then maybe you can help him with the wedges. That like Bryce and I are the perfect.
I need
we're,
help with the putting.
we're the perfect. Bryce and I are the perfect player combined, right? So I still hit it pretty far off the tee, not nearly as far as Bryce, but he just hits it dead straight all the time, really far, hard. I hit wedges really good. I can
Yeah.
put the lights out, so we're kind of like, that's why we've.
Good.
And I
That's a
can't
great
putt. I
combination.
cannot
Yeah.
putt for the life of me.
I just find it comes in streaks with me. I'm either putting really well that day or it's just terrible, man. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I'm
no
putting
in
really
between.
bad every day, so
I
pretty
think
consistent.
Brycer, I think we could go like 12 to 15 deep on most courses between you and I. I think a little
Probably.
two-man scramble, we could fire it up pretty good. But yeah, Tyson, we're definitely gonna have to try and get out for a round. It's a little bit late in our season now, but maybe we'll loop back next year. I got to get out to some of those courses. I know one of the guys who follows the pod invited me out to Black Bear a couple times this year. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But if I'm out that way, I'll shoot you a message. Maybe we can get tee it up a little bit. But the prices too for memberships are great out there, which is amazing. So you
Yeah,
definitely.
buddy, absolutely. Anytime. And sorry about that. That was my husky howling in the background
No,
there.
that's okay. Bryce always
Looking
got the
for
cat
attention.
walking
Yeah, the
through
cat's always
screen.
walking.
I have to like I'm downstairs, so I gotta put my guy away because I got like a 130-pound Bernese Mountain Dog, and if he's walking above me, it just sounds like there is like, yeah,
Gorgeous
there's just
dog, though. So
monster
nice.
ahead of me. Yeah, he's Brycer's met him. He's pretty awesome. But Tyson, we really appreciate this, man. It was fun to just kind of talk some hockey. I know, like we've talked to now. Obviously, a lot of pro golfers and stuff like that. A little while ago, I was talking with a bodybuilder. I used to be into bodybuilding when I was younger. So he's I tout him as like the most muscular golfer in the world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to like see how he gets it around because he's like 270 pounds, solid muscle, still shoots like 90. And obviously being a goalie or just a hockey player is a passion of both Bryce and I. So it's kind of cool to get you on, talk about it a little bit. You guys have a lot of connections, which is pretty cool. So Bryce, maybe early in the season we'll try and set something up and
Yeah, for sure.
try and get around it. But
Whenever
anybody,
Soupy gets his house built, I know he's kind of in the process right now. So he said I'm gonna go out there for a week and hang out. So
Perfect. It's a close drive for me too. So anybody who wants to kind of check out Tyson's work, I'm going to link it below. And if you want to get in touch with him, maybe get any of your kids, or if you're a goalie who wants to, if you're a goalie who is, our age, who wants to trade, and you're a golf pro by chance, and you kind of tee it up and you want to make a trade,
That's right.
we'll broker that, and we'll just
Trade some labor.
Yeah, we'll just come and watch and kind of reap the benefits maybe, but or I definitely could at times for sure. But
You
thanks.
can fix Mike's Slice, you get free lessons forever.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, that's sweet, man. That's awesome. So Tyson, thanks so much, man. This was great. And again, we're gonna link the Instagram below, and yeah, we'll pop this up on Friday. And if you don't mind sharing it, that'd be great, man. Anybody who's listening to the pod, go over and give him a follow. Kind of check it out, and yeah, we'll learn a little bit about the game of hockey as well too. If you're just a golfer, it's kind of nice.
That's right.
All right,
Boys,
bud.
thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Is out in my ball in the course where I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross. Worst case scenario.